Hey friend, this is the last training of the challenge. And just like the other two trainings, it is pre-recorded from a previous challenge. There's no Facebook group. You are not missing anything, I promise. If you have not done your screenshots and shared over to Instagram, like go back and take screenshots of you watching the other videos so that you can get credit. Okay. We're doing the live Q&A on Tuesday. Do not miss out on that. You are going to want to be there live with me to ask me any and all of your questions. We will work through the blocks that are standing in your way. And if you are ready to sign up for the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp, you can do that right now and get started on all of the content, even though we do not officially start for a couple more weeks. Let me know if you have questions, and I can't wait to see and hear what you take away from all of this amazing stuff. Very exciting. Okay, landing your next dream client. That's important. That's the thing we want, right? But the thing that you really, really want to be able to do is then do it on repeat. To be super duper intentional about how you're going about landing clients and like your lead gen strategy so that it's a system and a process, not just something that's like happening to you. I don't know about you, but like I want to be in control of as much of my business as I can be. That includes knowing where my clients are coming from and like how I'm making money in my business. For a lot of us, if you want consistent income in your business, you have to know where and how you're gaining new clients. And one of the big mindset shifts that I had to make, especially right around the time that I lost all of my clients, was this idea that like, even if you are working with all of the best, most dreamy, amazing clients, you're not necessarily going to be working with them forever. Like at any given moment, you can have a client who turns around and says like, hey, for whatever reason, we can't keep working together. And if you haven't been doing any sort of lead gen stuff, you have no idea where your next client is coming from. Now you have this fear that is weighing on you of like, holy crap, how am I going to replace that income? I am now dependent upon my business to help support my family and do all of these things that we want to do. I've grown very accustomed to the way that we live our lives. Like going out and getting a job is just not really a possibility. What do I do? Whereas if you have a system like the one that we're going to talk about today, that you are continuing to nurture and do on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis, then when that happens and you lose a client, now you get to turn around and look at your system and say, cool, I know exactly where my next client is coming from. And we let go of all of that fear of like, crap, I don't know where that's, I don't, how am I going to keep running things? And then it's that fear then that's driving your car. And for a lot of us, when that fear is driving the car, that's when we get into that desperate space of like, I just need to land a client. I don't care who they are. As long as they're willing to pay me, that's good enough. And then you turn around and you look at your business and you're wondering why you're working with a whole bunch of people you don't want to be working with. And it's because we've been very reactionary. Drop a 1 if that feels familiar. Yeah. The beautiful thing is you're not alone. But one of the things that I was thinking about while I was reading through the homework responses, and especially Megan's, like Megan's really stood out to me because she has said that like she has clients and she wants to be bringing on more clients. Liz is in the same position, and it's kind of like you're caught in this catch-22 of I don't really have the capacity. It's like, how do I shift my business while I'm currently still working with people, because I don't have the luxury to just turn around and be like, peace out, not ideal clients. Like, sorry. No, we are not independently wealthy humans. Like, we are trying to make a living here and support our families and also not burn ourselves out from this business that we're doing. And so, how do you do that? The first step is realizing that, like, hey, I know that there is something that I am doing and continuing to do. I have mindset stuff that I'm bringing to the table. And now that I know that about myself, and I know the thing that I have to shift and change, now you got to actually do it. And that's the hard part. The acknowledgement is step one. It's the next piece of actually going and taking the action that gets a little bit harder. All right, let's dive into today. We have so much to do, my friends. Any big ahas that came up for you yesterday while you were watching through the training videos, doing the homework, like doing any sort of reflection? Anything that was like, huh, okay. John sent me a message, like very, he wasn't frustrated with me, but just like frustrated with the situation because he felt like he had finally like gotten it. And then I was talking to him yesterday and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm still not there. Which I totally feel your frustration, John. Like, yes. John said, I thought I knew my niche, my ideal client. And John, you do, but you got to pick one. It's not so much your niche that isn't clear, it's the ideal client and making sure that they view what you are doing as impactful, because we don't want to have an ideal client who doesn't actually see value in the thing that we're doing, which is also where I see a lot of misalignment coming in the done for you service provider space.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't frustrated with you. It's just like I've been doing this for a
Yeah.
while. Why haven't I gotten this toy yet? And it's like I had done market research from different people with different perspectives, but I hadn't specifically asked these people that question. And it's like, crap. Okay, and you're right, and I can talk to you further about it after
Yeah.
this. But
Yeah.
but yes, actually, as much as I didn't want to hear it, thank you for telling me.
You're welcome. We'll never not tell you. So real quick, a couple of housekeeping things before we dive into the actual work of today, just to make sure that you're watching the videos, commenting on the videos so that I can make sure that you're actually watching the video and like give you credit for watching the video, and doing the homework pieces. Because again, like, you can watch the videos, you can do the trainings, but like the actual work, the actual transformation comes from doing the things. So, like, answering the homework and engaging and participating in what we are doing within the challenge itself. We do still have one more daily prize. We have one more homework assignment from today. So I'll be drawing that tomorrow afternoon. So you actually have the whole day to catch up and do that. Um, we still have plenty of badges and points and prizes that you can earn. Like, you can catch up on all of those points for sure. And then we have the grand prize, which means you have to answer the daily prize, like the daily homework questions every single day, 3 days, in order to enter to win that grand prize, which is half off of the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp, which I shared with you all yesterday. And I am drawing that person tomorrow afternoon. So do all of the homework before then so that you can be entered to win that grand prize, that 50% off. So instead of the boot camp costing you $3,000, it's only $1,500. And you can do the 3-month payment plan or the 6-month payment plan. And if you do the 6-month payment plan, it's only $250 a month. So it's a pretty good deal. And I would want to do it if I were you. It is also not too late to sign up for the 5K Insiders Club. You will get all of the recordings of all of these trainings, lifetime access, and 2 additional trainings, which after what we talk about today might be something that would be really, really helpful for you. So the link to upgrade is over in the Facebook group. Okay, real quick, we have this framework, this simple framework. This is the thing that we've been talking about for the last 2 days. This is the simplest way that I know that I have ever seen. And I've talked to many, 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 many different service providers, worked with many different service providers. This is the simplest way to create consistent income in your business as a done-for-you service provider. It's not about creating digital products. It's not about starting an agency. It's not about becoming a coach. Like, if you want to make good money in your business and do it the simplest way possible, this is coming from a coach, my friends. The simplest way to do it is using this simple framework. Honestly, if I did not love coaching, if I did not love doing what I was doing, I would absolutely go back to just being a done-for-you service provider. You only need 5 clients to make good money, which means it's only 5 people that I'm taking care of. And if I can create retainers and be a team member, like, I'm not stressing too much about my business other than making sure I'm treating my clients really, really well. So unless you are passionate about creating a digital product, unless you are passionate about starting an agency or passionate about becoming a coach, like, if the thing that you want to do is make more money and not have to work a whole bunch more, this is the framework you're using. And you're staying in the done for you service provider space. It is far easier. I promise you. It is the reason why I help done for you service providers. Do not help people start their coaching businesses. Like, don't get me wrong, I love coaching. This is not the easiest way to make money. And if you want to talk more about that later, feel free to message me. I will give you all of my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about it. So the best way for me to support you with this simple framework, to give you all of the how, to help you with the implementation and the creation of shifting your business from where it's at now into something that's creating consistent income, is through the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. It is 8 weeks of us sitting down, and you guys, those 8 weeks fly. They are so fast, and you are doing things week in and week out to make the shifts in your business. And so if you're sitting there right now and you're like, dang, I really want my business up and running, like, I want to be making consistent 5K months before the summertime, now is the time to join the boot camp. Make all the shifts and changes we need to in your business. And then that second phase is landing the clients, which you're going to do the way that we're talking about today. We're creating a system and we're creating a process for it. So doors are open. You guys got first dibs. The email to all of my friends on my email list just went out this morning. And so they also now have the opportunity to jump in, but they still do not have what you have, which is, this is the breakdown. In case you were wondering, it is the simple framework. And so we spend 8 weeks together. You get weekly Q&A calls. And then you get to spend a whole month, an additional month in my group coaching program, where I continue to support you with the implementation and the legwork, the networking piece, the creating content piece, and any of the other pieces that still needed to be put in place, because the 8 weeks, they go fast. And so the joining my group coaching program then allows me to continue to support you. We have Voxer access, we have a community, we are constantly celebrating and talking about wins. And because you guys are in this challenge, you get a $600 discount that everybody else does not get, which is still applied to any of the payment plans that you sign up for. And if you are a current member of my group coaching program, you get a special pricing if you would like to join the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp as well. Do make sure that you use the coupon code though, or else you'll be paying full price. Don't do that. No need. All right. And if you decide to pay in full, I will give you, I'm gifting you a 1 hour strategy session if you do it before tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. You guys have done the work. You've realized, like, I can't keep doing the thing that I'm doing. And like I said, the awareness is step one. But now we actually have to do something different. But you have to be willing to do that something different. So how the freaking heck do you land dream clients? Because like ultimately, that's what we want. Drop a yes if you're like, yeah, I would like to work with only dream clients, please. John, that's more than one. That's you know what's so funny? When I landed my first client and she ended up being a dream client, it felt like this thing that you just kind of like luck into. Like some people end up being dream clients and other clients are definitely not. And you just kind of got to deal with it. Like you don't really know. Except that I learned that actually that's not true. When we get into the desperate fate, like space where we're like, I need to land a client, I just need somebody to pay me money. That's not the energy that you're going to bring to the table that's going to land you dream clients. That's the energy that you're going to bring to the table that's going to land you the really crappy clients. Because the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to keep decreasing your prices because you think the pricing is the reason why people aren't signing on with you. Does that sound familiar? And what you're ultimately doing is you are catching the people who are like, I'm looking for a really, really, really good deal. And maybe I need some help, but they also end up being micromanaging. And I mean, we just don't want that. We want the dream clients who appreciate what we're doing. Well, dang it. How the heck do we do that? First of all, how cute is my son? Like, dang, I make cute kids. I should not put pictures of them. They are very distracting when I'm trying to empower you to go find these dream clients. Listen, you got to know who they are before you can go find them. That feels like a really obvious thing when I say it out loud. And yet, Megan mentioned in her homework yesterday, like, I haven't been landing ideal clients because I haven't actually defined who that is. So I got to figure out who that is first. And like, don't let your brain tell you that you are willing to work with just anybody. I mean, push comes to shove and you have to make some money. You do what you got to do, but understand the compromise that you're making. Understand that if you continue to do that in your life and in your business, you are going to wake up and hate the business that you've built. It just doesn't feel good. And the thing that's really important with making sure that you know who these people are is like, it's not necessarily that people who are not your dream clients are not good people. Like that's not what we're equating here. In John's example, so John was talking about targeting real estate agents with his YouTube stuff. He was talking about targeting like travel agents, and he's talking about targeting like coaches and course creators. And the thing that makes somebody a dream client, like they have to see value in what you are bringing to the table. So like real estate agents aren't bad, travel agents aren't bad, course creators and coaches aren't bad, but like we got to know, we got to make sure that we're working with people and targeting people who like actually want the thing. It doesn't matter what the cost of it is if they don't see the value in it, if that is not something that they are actively trying to solve. Your pricing is not the problem. Your communication of the value that you're bringing to the table and their alignment with saying like, hey, that is actually a problem I'm trying to solve and I want to solve it right now. That's where the problem is. That's why you're getting pricing objections, because quite honestly, they might not be able to afford it. They also don't see the value in what it's bringing to the table. It's just not a priority for them. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. That's just the thing. So once you know who they are, you have those defining factors. They're things that they're like search terms that you can use. They are questions that you can ask people. If you have a revenue point that you are wanting to work with people, like I have one friend who's a copywriter and she only works with high 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners. Like that's a really good differentiator. And a really great way for her essentially to be saying to people like, you are not ready for the work that I am doing with you because you do not have the priority of having this at the top of your list. Like it's just not, that's not in alignment. You are not ready for this yet. And that's okay. The other big fear, the other big story that I see and hear done for you service providers saying to themselves and to other people and like from people they've talked to is like, if I niche down into this one specific area, doesn't that mean that I'm then like shutting off everybody else? Aren't I going to be losing potential clients because I have this one specific narrowed niche? And the answer is no. People who really want to work with you and they see the value in what you're doing, even if they are not your specific target, will still reach out to you and still want to work with you. But not knowing who your ideal client is affecting your messaging. It's affecting your ability to clearly communicate that you understand the transformation in the problem that you're solving and the reason why they need to solve it right now. Cool. Step 2, you have to be creating offers around the big problem that they are trying to solve. When I was a done for you service provider and like finally niched down and was no longer like willy-nilly just kind of landing any client that would come my way, and I was doing content repurposing, I didn't talk about content repurposing, not solely anyway. And I wasn't looking for people who were saying like, I need help repurposing my content, especially because how long ago was that? 4 years ago? 4 years ago, people definitely were not talking about needing help with content repurposing. Like that was not a topic of conversation. It is much more now, but it definitely wasn't then. The thing that they were saying was like, I'm feeling really burnt out from creating content. I feel like I'm supposed to be showing up on all of these different platforms, but I can't do that. Content creation is just taking me so dang long. And like, I feel like I'm constantly having to come up with new ideas all the time. And so I created something that solved that problem. And the way that I did that was through content repurposing, but like I wasn't leading with that. That was not the problem they were looking to solve. They weren't people who were like, you know what I really want to do? I want to repurpose all my content. And so when getting in conversations, we were talking about the problem they were trying to solve, not the way that I was going to execute solving that problem. And so the market research is going to help you really understand what those problems are. And then it is your responsibility to turn around and say, cool, if they are telling me that they are having this specific problem, I need to make sure that either I am solving the problem or I have somebody I can refer to them that will help them solve this part of the problem. For instance, like if I'm going to help you with social media and they have a need to like also help with DMs and stuff like that, I'm not going to be in answering their DMs, but I should have somebody I can refer them to. Does that example make sense? If you are a copywriter and you do web design stuff, or like you do sales pages and like web design or design, why do I keep saying that? Web copy, having friends and connections who also do the design piece is going to be really helpful for you. They don't have to be on your team. You don't have to manage that. You don't have to run that. But having somebody you can refer out is something that can be really helpful to people. After you know who you're solving the problem for, what that problem is that you're solving, then we have to create a networking plan. Those first two pieces have to be there first, because if you don't know who you're looking for and you don't know how to solve their problem, it's really hard to find those people. I just don't know. There's really no other way around it. And this is the thing, if you are looking for clients, like if you need to land clients, the number one thing that you are working on doing is talking to people and networking with them. Because the first two steps, step 1 and step 2, when you start doing step 3, is still going to feel really uncomfortable because you're not going to know if step 1 and step 2 are totally right. Here's the thing, they're probably not totally right, but you're not going to know that until you start talking to people. And it helps you refine and come back to step 1 and say like, cool, do I need to add anything else to better define who my dream client is? Do I need to refine my offers? Are they now asking about a specific thing, but I don't have anything about how to solve that specific problem? I need to make some shifts and changes. Nothing is ever set in stone. And if you are waiting for everything to be perfect before you go land clients, you are going to be waiting for a long time. But you do want to be a little bit more intentional than you were when you first started your business. Okay. Let's talk about a networking plan. What the heck is it? Your networking plan includes ways that you are creating new connections. There are so many different ways to network. If you hate the way that you've been networking, if I say networking and you want to puke, that means we're just not doing it in the best way possible. Also, if you're not talking to people, it's going to be very difficult to land clients, and especially be in the driver's seat of landing clients. So if you're telling yourself this story that you don't like to talk to people and you're an introvert and like you don't like talking to people, it's going to hold you back. I am also an introvert. I mean, huge introvert. When I get done with heavy call days where I'm connecting with lots of people, I have to take a break. That doesn't mean I don't do the hard thing of talking to the people. It just means that I have built in a way to replenish myself and feed back into my soul. Stop making the excuses about why you're not networking. Find something that works. Go talk to people. You have to connect with people to better define who that ideal client is, who that dream client is, and make sure your offer is solving their problem so that you can keep talking to people. You want to make sure that you are planning to follow up with people and build real connections. you're sending just one message and they never respond to you and you don't ever follow up with them, we are not building real connections. And you're not going to see a lot of traction. It's going to feel like you're constantly reaching out to new people. The fortune's in the follow-up. And then I would suggest, this is something that we talk a lot about in my group coaching, is you want to have something that you can offer them that shows off what you do. So like doing a free audit for them, or creating, like, when this is something I talk about in my content repurposing mini course, is like repurposing a piece of their content, giving them a piece of content that just like shows off what you can do as like a gift to them. Not necessarily expecting anything in return, but just saying like, hey, here's a way that like you can better utilize the thing that you're already doing. I would also highly, highly, highly encourage you to be connecting with people one-on-one, sending DMs, getting to know people that way, because social media in general is incredibly busy and so loud. If you're like, Elise, I don't know how to reach out to people. How do I reach out to people in direct messages without sounding super duper salesy? I do have a whole training that I did back in December that has templates that can help you. So like, if that is a problem you're currently facing, if that's something that's holding you up, like, let me know and I will send you the link and you can grab that if you want it. You also get it when you sign up for the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. Okay. So like, I'm not like, this is just not a lot of hot air, my friends. This is something that is tried and true. And how long your networking plan takes to like get people from perspectives to landing them as a client is totally up to you. It's up to you how fast you want to move and how quickly you want to ask for that discovery call. Jess, who is in my group coaching program, she started putting her networking plan together over the summer, is really when she like honed in on what she wanted to be doing. But first she had to get really clear on who she wanted to be serving and how she wanted to serve them. If you were hesitant about reaching out to people, this is probably the biggest part. Because what ends up happening is when you reach out to people, once you know the problem that you're solving, it no longer becomes scary to like talk to people, because all you're doing is trying to figure out where they are in their business and like what problems they might be having. And if you are the solution to the problem that they have, then it's not about like, hey, you should just pay me money. It's like, hey, I can actually help you solve a problem. And for me, that was a total game changer. I could not just walk into a room and be like, hey, you should hire me to do your stuff. And they would ask me why. And I'd be like, well, I don't really know, because you don't want to do it anymore. So what she ended up doing is creating her network plan and how she wanted to reach out to people. Her networking plan is not super aggressive. It's over the course, honestly, of a couple of months of getting to know somebody and really building a relationship, because that is something that's important to her. And I mean, I don't care how fast or slow you move. And so she started doing her one-on-one outreach in the DMs and like really building relationships that way. And she specifically works with coaches who have podcasts, and especially like women like issues. Like she wants to be working and is working with women who like support other women in different phases of their lives. And specifically who have podcasts, and helping them to take the messages from their podcasts and spread it across multiple platforms. And so in her direct outreach, she's building these relationships. And one of the things that she does after she's had a little bit of back and forth is she will create a piece of content for them based off of the podcast they've done and just like gift it to them. And if they really like it, then she will ask them if they want to hop on a discovery call. Because at that point, there's not this huge gap that she's trying to fill between a discovery call and a yes. We want that gap to be so small. And then she landed a client. And what's beautiful is that this is a strategy. Like, this is a whole process. She gets to do it again. She isn't just waiting for somebody to come pop into her inbox or send her a message that says, like, hey, I'm a referral from so and so. She is in charge of how she is landing clients. Continuing to run your business is really freaking hard. And you don't have to do it by yourself. And realistically, I don't want you to keep trying to do it on your own. And if you are working with the same coach that you started with when you first started your business, it might be time to try something new. The thing that I do, the same way that, like, if you were diagnosed with a skin issue, you would not continue to go to your primary care physician, you would go to a dermatologist. Helping create businesses of your dreams, making consistent income, working with dream clients, and only working 20 hours a week, that's what I do. That is what I do. That is what I have done for the last 3.5 years as a coach. And I know it works because I have helped other people do it and I have done it myself. A lot of done for you service provider coaches did the done for you service provider piece for such a short time before they switched into the coaching piece. Because coaching at this point in the online game is like the next step after you want to be reaching and making more money. Now go be a coach and teach other people how to do it. This is not a belief I have. That is harder than serving people as a done for you service provider. And so if you want that, if you want to make the shifts and changes that you have seen and gotten clarity on this week, and you want to do it faster than having to like try things out yourself, I would love to have you come join me in the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. In 8 weeks, we will do the things that we've talked about today. Your business will be set up. You will be ready to go and start landing those clients on a process versus like just hoping and wishing that it happens. Okay. Nearly every single person who has gone through the boot camp at this point, and we are now coming up on the end of our 4th round of the boot camp, every single person's business looks different. And they have started accomplishing the things that they wanted to be accomplishing. When Alexis joined, she very much was in a reactionary space of just kind of taking on anybody who was coming her way. And then she'd lose clients, and it was like, holy crap, I don't really feel like I know how to go and land clients. And so we figured out what her niche needed to be. We figured out who her ideal client was. We started eliminating things that she was doing for clients of like, this is not something I'm going to keep offering, and working on her networking and creating content. Robin, when Robin joined, she was working with this guy who was like emotionally and verbally abusive to her. It was not a good situation, but he was paying her money. And so she firmed up her boundaries. She decided she wasn't just going to do anything and everything. She really niched down into becoming an affiliate marketing manager and created a way to go out and land clients on a consistent basis. And in November, I think that's the last time she messaged me, she had ended her working relationship with that really abusive client. Wendy has done so many amazing things. She made the conscious decision to switch her niche. She'd been doing real estate transaction coordinating stuff, and she's still doing some of that, but she wanted to do more digital organization stuff. So we created the whole offer that she wanted to be doing, and she started putting dedicated time into her business every day. And now she's doing like guest trainings for other groups of people on digital organization. And as of last week, she landed her first VIP day client because she's super clear on what the VIP day is now. It's not just this offer that she's throwing out and like hoping people catch on to. These were some of her takeaways from being in the boot camp. Communication is huge. Making things simple, top of the list. That is the thing we want to be doing. Lauren joined in the August cohort. She's doing amazing. She made more money in her business in September in 1 month than she had in the previous like 3.5 years that she'd been running her business. She made back her investment before it was even over. Created an offer that felt really, really good, and has since then had an ongoing list of like new website design clients she's bringing in and letting go of her non-ideal clients. I will let you guys read it. I don't need to read it to you. One of the big things that sticks out to me is that when Lauren joined, it was right at the beginning of the school year, and she was very concerned that she wouldn't have time to dedicate to the boot camp stuff. Like life was really busy and time was really like tight. And she completed things and knocked them out of the park week after week after week. It is an intimate group of people, and I will bug the crap out of you if you are like not doing your stuff. Renee also joined in the August cohort. She was also somebody who was like, I don't really have time to do this. And yet, this is exactly the thing that I need to be doing right now in order to shift my business. And I talked to Renee yesterday. She is projected to make $70,000 to $80,000 this year. She's fully booked out. The thing that we're talking about now is like, how can she outsource pieces of like her day-to-day life stuff so that she can actually do other things besides just run her business and run her house. And like I mentioned yesterday, her like American dollars, John. She the discovery call and her newest client that she landed back in December, she said was her easiest yes, because everything was already set out and ready to go. And when she quoted them on the discovery call, like it was a no-brainer for them. This will be posted in the group later too, if you want to read through all of her things. Like I asked Lauren and Renee specifically from their like cohort group what they would tell somebody about the boot camp. And it's like, it's fast paced and you are covering a lot of critical pieces for your business. And like, if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? Liz is also on our call. She joined the boot camp back in October, landed her highest paying client in November. And is continuing to implement boundaries and getting honest with what she wants to be doing with her clients. And even Liz said, I mean, one of the things she's going to be working on is really making sure that she is trusting herself and working with ideal clients. It's a constant like correction back to who you want to be and the business you want to be running. Which is totally possible. And just because you do the boot camp doesn't necessarily mean that everything is magically fixed. You're just have an awareness of the things that are going on, and you have step by step of how to actually make it happen. There's no more of the second guessing of yourself. Latanya is one of my favorite people to talk about. You all are. I love you all so much. She really wanted to quit her 9-to-5 job. And she was still working on hourly packages, wasn't sure who she wanted to be working with. It was just kind of all like very wishy-washy, and made tremendous growth in all the entirety of the boot camp. She ended up niching down into a very profitable niche that she feels super confident about doing. She created an offer that like snaps, is so good. Started working on content and putting herself out there. She has quit her 9-to-5 job. As her last day is next Friday. So like did the dang thing. And so I don't have my most recent people in here because we're still doing it. We're on week 7. I do have a question for you though. Like, what does creating consistent income and especially consistent 5K months actually mean to you? And is it worth the investment? Are you willing to invest in yourself and invest in your future, knowing that if you do something like the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp, you will get there so much faster? The number of people that I've talked to that their business still looks the same several months, several years later, and they really aren't making any sort of growth has a lot to do with the fact that like you might know what the problem is, but if you're not doing anything to solve it, it's still going to be a problem. So here's the deal. We have one more day of homework. This one is probably the most involved day of homework, but only if you overthink it. I want you to put together your networking plan. And when I say put together your networking plan, like Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing this, Wednesday I'm doing this, Thursday I'm doing this, Friday I'm doing this. Examples would be like engaging with people on Instagram, sending 5 messages, engaging with people on Facebook, following up with people. And then I want you to post any other things that you need to do to make your networking plan habit. Don't forget our daily prize. Don't forget about your badges. If you're like, Elise, how do I earn badges and points? It's all in the Facebook group. I can tag you if you don't know where to look for it. And do all of the daily homework, even if you haven't done any so far, so that you can be entered to win half off of the bootcamp. I will be announcing that grand prize winner and that daily prize winner tomorrow afternoon. Liz said, I am so thankful I went through the 5K Roadmap Bootcamp. I know I wouldn't have made the changes I have made to improve my business with it. I also know I have a solid strategy I come back to make my business stronger and more in line with my goals. Absolutely. I'm so unbelievably proud of every single person who has gone through the bootcamp. It is insane. Megan, I cannot wait to see your networking plan. It's going to be amazing. All right, my friends, if you have other questions and things, feel free to drop them into the Facebook group. I will be popping into the Facebook group a little later today just to give you a kind of a behind the scenes of what's happening in the boot camp and like what all that looks like. Because if you're anything like me, you want to see what's going on behind the screen. You know what I mean? All right. Hope to see you inside the boot camp, and I will chat with you all later.